What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. I think we can all agree that Thanos has probably established himself into becoming the MCU's top villain to date. He's murdered and tortured people and even conquered worlds. But what if I told you that Thanos may not be completely responsible for all of his actions? What if I told you that Thanos wasn't using the Infinity Stones to get his goal accomplished, but rather the Infinity Stones were actually using him? Now, before you think you know what this theory is all about, let me just tell you right now, it's not going to go where you think it will. As a matter of fact, if you stick around until the very end of this video, I believe many of you will have to rethink what we thought we knew about the Infinity Stones, Thanos, and the bigger cosmic game that's at play. Coming up next. As an added bonus for those of you who watched this entire video, please stay tuned until the very end for a very special announcement that you might not want to miss. While I do understand that this idea that I'm going to propose is not completely original, I do believe, to the best of my knowledge, that the theory I'm about to propose, as deeply as I'm going to propose it, is pretty original. Of course, this is a big world and I could be mistaken, but just in case if I'm not, if you happen to hear this theory anywhere else, please let them know that you heard it from E-Man first. Now, before we get started with this theory, I think it's important that we address a major plot hole in the MCU that has yet to be explained by Marvel. To this day, we have no idea how Thanos had acquired the Mind Stone that he gave to Loki in the first Avengers movie. Now, there was a time where a prelude comic was released that sought out to explain how Thanos obtained the Mind Stone. However, right after its release, Marvel clarified that this comic was not to be considered canon for the MCU. So since we don't have any official story from Marvel about how Thanos got the Mind Stone, let's just assume that he's had it for some time. In addition to that assumption, we also need to consider Marvel's latest retcon with Loki's character. After the events of Infinity War, Marvel decided to go back and retcon Loki's background on their official site. Marvel conveniently added in the fact that Loki had been under the influence of the Mind Stone during the events of the first Avengers movie. Essentially, Marvel implied that Loki's anger and resentment for his father Odin and brother Thor were affected by the Mind Stone itself. If you want to learn more about this, check out my previous video. Don't worry, I'll leave a link at the end of the video and I'll leave a link in the description for you to check out. With the retcon in place suggesting that Loki had been influenced by the Mind Stone, it's not much of a stretch to believe that Thanos has probably also been influenced in a similar way. After all, we've seen the Mind Stone have side effects in the MCU before. Back in the first Avengers movie, we saw that by simply being near the Mind Stone, the Avengers were starting to feel the effects of the stone while they were arguing. What's key to notice in this scene is that the Mind Stone didn't do anything except for give a little bit more energy, so to speak, to many of the thoughts and feelings that the Avengers already had. Same thing happened to Loki according to Marvel. The Mind Stone simply pushed Loki's thoughts and feelings to the extreme of wanting to take over Earth as a way to get back at Thor. So if that were the case, does Thanos have any similar thoughts and feelings for the Mind Stone to affect? You bet he does. First off, we know that Thanos has some really deep emotional trauma and beliefs that the Mind Stone can exploit. Let's recall that Thanos experienced a very traumatic event when his entire home planet of Titan faced extinction. This event obviously took a profound emotional toll on Thanos, especially when he thought it could have been prevented. Next, we know that Thanos also has some pretty deep-rooted beliefs due to his trauma that he's faced. He has a strong line of thinking that includes randomly killing half of the population without any prejudice in order to make life better for those that survive. Now, I want you to remember this about Thanos' beliefs because it's going to connect later on in this theory in the bigger game that's at play here. Anyway, given the fact that Thanos has experienced some emotional trauma and his hardcore philosophy on killing half of the population, I think it's more than enough to give the Mind Stone something to influence even to the extreme. Now, there may be some people out there that may say Thanos is way too powerful to allow the Mind Stone to affect him. He's definitely more powerful than an Asgardian god like Loki. Thanos was strong enough to take down the Hulk without even using the Power Stone. He was strong enough to hold the Infinity Stones barehanded. Thanos was also powerful enough to wield all the stones at once, and to our knowledge, no one in the MCU has ever done that before. While all those things may be true, we do have more reason to believe that Thanos is definitely susceptible to not just the Mind Stone, but the other Infinity Stones as well. If you saw one of my previous videos, I pointed out that after Thanos did the big snap, he was left with a huge scar on the left side of his body. I also pointed out that Thanos used the Infinity Stones to heal himself from the near fatal wound from Stormbreaker. However, he was still left with some damage from using so much of the Infinity Stones' power during the snap. So Thanos might be able to resist the powers of the Infinity Stones a bit longer than others, but there's nothing to suggest that he's 100% resistant to their side effects either. Okay, so just to recap to make sure we're all on the same page, we're assuming that Thanos has had the Mind Stone for some time. We do know that he's got some deep thoughts and feelings that can be affected by the Mind Stone. And we've also established that Thanos can be affected by the Infinity Stones. Now at this point in the theory, some people are probably going to think that all of this is pretty obvious. Well, this is also the part of the theory where I'm about to extend and go a little bit deeper. So if you're ready to climb down this rabbit hole with me, then
hold on to your butts.
So when I started thinking about this theory involving Thanos being influenced by the Mind Stone, I started wondering, why is this happening at all? Why Thanos of all people? And then it clicked. Thanos being influenced by the Infinity Stones is no mere coincidence. It wasn't just a random side effect of the Mind Stone that just so happened to embolden Thanos in pursuing his crazy goals. No, not at all. I think there's more than enough reason to believe that all the Infinity Stones were actively controlling Thanos. Not only that, but the Infinity Stones specifically chose Thanos to be their wielder. Let me explain. According to both the comics and the movies, it has been shown to us that the Infinity Stones are actually sentient, meaning the Infinity Stones have the ability to think. Our first clue was shown to us in Avengers Age of Ultron when Tony Stark and Banner were analyzing the Mind Stone. Take a look.
Meet the competition.
It's beautiful.
You have to guess. What's it look like?
Like it's thinking. I mean, this could be, it's not a human mind, man. I mean, look at this. They're like neurons firing.
Banner commented and said that it looked like it was thinking. I guess it would make sense that the Mind Stone would have a mind of its own, right? Right?
Move this man!
Okay, bad joke, sorry. Moving on. If you want more evidence of the Infinity Stones being sentient, let's take a look at what Red Skull said to Thanos.
A lifetime ago, I too sought the stones. I even held one in my hand. But it cast me out, banished me here, guiding others to a treasure I cannot possess.
Recall back to the end of Captain America the First Avenger when Red Skull touched the Space Stone, and rather than being eviscerated like others, the stone cast Red Skull out and banished him to the planet of Vormir to guide others to the Soul Stone. The fact that the Space Stone placed Red Skull there to serve the Soul Stone demonstrates that the stones obviously can make decisions and work in unison together. We also learned from Red Skull that the Soul Stone specifically has a certain type of wisdom. So it would appear that not only do these Infinity Stones think, but they also have the ability to make choices. They were able to choose Red Skull to serve the Soul Stone, so why wouldn't the stones be able to choose Thanos to serve some other purpose? Well, if the stones are capable of doing all that, then I'll take this theory a step further and raise the question. What is the purpose of the Infinity Stones? I believe in order to understand their purpose, we're going to have to understand just who created the stones to begin with. Let's take a look back at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and recap on the briefing from the Collector on the origin of the Infinity Stones.
Oh, my new friends. Before creation itself, there were 6 singularities. Then the universe exploded into existence, and the remnants of these systems were forged into concentrated ingots. Infinity Stones.
One thing that might have slipped by some people is when he said that the remnants of these systems were forged. Just a few scenes later, they show the beings that actually did the forging. These beings were the cosmic entities that were portrayed on the walls of the temple vault in the beginning of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. These 4 cosmic entities are death, entropy, infinity, and eternity. I think it may be safe to say that the Infinity Stones were created by these cosmic entities to act as like their tools. Tools that can be used individually or collectively to bring about various aspects of the entire universe. Think of it like this. The cosmic entities made the Infinity Stones the same way Tony Stark made Jarvis. Jarvis is a thinking AI system that acts out the desires of his creator, Tony Stark. In a similar way, I'm proposing that the Infinity Stones operate as like the universe's AI system to act out the desires of their programmers, the 4 cosmic entities. So what are the desires of these cosmic programmers? Well, let's do a quick rundown of these cosmic entities to understand their true goals. First up is eternity. This cosmic being's purpose is creation and order. Next, we have entropy. Entropy's purpose is destruction or chaos. Then we have infinity, who represents all space in the universe. And lastly, we have death, whose purpose is pretty self-explanatory. Each cosmic entity serves a purpose, but neither purpose is greater than the other. While infinity and eternity come together to bring forth creation and order, entropy and death seek to bring chaos and destruction. But one common theme between all these cosmic entities is that of balance. Does that sound familiar at all?
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Now we can begin to bring things full circle. Given the Infinity Stone's sentience, it's definitely possible that they chose Thanos in order to bring balance to the entire universe. This is exactly what the cosmic entities represent after all. Death and life, order and chaos, all of that was brought about through the snap of a finger. With the death of half of all life in the universe, life can now, supposedly, prosper more abundantly. Thanos was just a means to an end, and that's why I said Thanos was merely a pawn in this entire cosmic game. Thanos' plan was perfectly in sync with the goal of the cosmic entities and the purpose of the Infinity Stones. Okay, now that I've laid all that out, I think this puts us in a position to look at things maybe from a different perspective. I think these cosmic entities pretty much serve as basic functions of nature. None of them are actually good or evil. They just are what they are. So that begs the question, was the act of erasing half of all life without any prejudice, with the hopes of making life continue more abundantly, actually a positive thing? Or do you think it's still an evil thing? If these cosmic beings and the Infinity Stones are just serving as functions of the universe, then isn't this just nature taking its course? However you want to approach or answer those questions is fine with me. At the end of the day, I think that there's more than enough evidence to suggest that the Infinity Stones chose Thanos to serve out the greater purpose of their cosmic creators, and that was to bring balance to the entire universe. So what do you all make of this theory? Do you guys think that it's maybe, I don't know, 50% believable? Do you think that the stones chose Thanos and controlled him to the point of wiping half of all life? Do you think that if this theory were true, that it would make Thanos less responsible for his actions? Or better yet, do you think that Marvel might consider retconning Thanos the same way that they retconned Loki's character? Please feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below so we can talk about it. Thank you so much for sticking around this long and watching this video. I truly appreciate it as always. And if you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to share it with your friends. As promised earlier in this video, I'm giving away this amazing poster that's been generously donated by a longtime fan of mine named Steven Thigpen. As I've stated before, I'm extremely appreciative of all of you who support my channel and share my videos. So hopefully this 36 by 24 Avengers Endgame poster will go to one lucky winner. All you have to do is be a subscriber to my channel and leave a comment on this video including the hashtag Avengers. I'll announce the winner of the giveaway in my next Marvel related video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.